Hi, my name is Andrew Santillo, and I am a senior, obviously, because I'm taking this class, geography major here at Eastern Illinois. And for my presentation, I wanted to look into birth rates, not only in this country, but around the world as well. I think the book touches on this a little bit. I just wanted to kind of expand on that, look into things, and really just kind of explain what this all means, not only at the U.S. level, but also at a world level. Right now in the United States, the birth rate is at 1.9 or 2.1. I've seen both statistics out there. A lot of people say 2.1 is the world average. 1.9 is the U.S. average. These numbers are very close. I don't know how you can have 2.1 of a child, but it's just an average. Right now in the United States, you see that number, and I wanted to look back really how things were before this, let's just say 20s or 30s, when the U.S. was a farming country. We were a very agriculturally based country, and you saw families have 5 or 6 children. And this was because it took 5 or 6 people that helped be farmhands. Right now, obviously, with technology, you can do much more with much less. It doesn't take 5 or 6 children to help run a farm when you can have a tractor manned by one person that could help you on a field, rather than X amount of farmhands. This is something that's very different in our country. I feel like a lot of older generations came from families with 5 or 6 different siblings. And right now you just don't see that. And I don't know entirely if the U.S. will ever get back to that state of having larger families. I saw a study in the United States that said children that come from a family with 3+ siblings and more siblings will want to tend to have that later on in life. And I just don't know if that's true. Right now, like I said, the United States is at about 1.9. And what I wanted to look into as well is who is having the children in the United States. What's the one sector of people that's having the most kids? And that would be immigrants from Latin America. And this is because Catholicism is the main religion here, and they don't believe in birth control. So you see a lot of families have 5 or 6 children, 3 or 4 children, whereas Americans now are only having 1 or 2 children. It was also interesting to look at the economy that this had on people having children. When the economy went bad, you kind of saw a dip in the total fertility rate, which is the amount of children women will have in their childbearing years, because of the economy. Now that things are a little bit more stable, we're starting to see that number rise a little bit, not exponentially, but a little bit. And then going back to really the amount that Hispanic immigrants are having in our country, I think this is very interesting, because what you start to see is one person come over and sort of a chain migration. Now you have one person maybe has a family. Now more people from that country of origin will come here and expand our country. Immigration is the way that the United States is growing right now, and I don't think that's such a bad thing. This country was founded on immigrants. Shifting away from the United States, though, I really wanted to look at the entire world, not as a whole, but select parts of the world. If you look at Eastern Bloc countries and Scandinavian countries, some of these countries, such as Lithuania, are actually losing population. This is because there's more people passing on than there are being born. And it's interesting to see governments actually encouraging married couples or couples to have children just to keep their population up. Another great example of this is Japan. Japan is the oldest country in the world per capita. There are towns that are 85 and up, and that's the entire population. And it's encouraging people to have children to carry on that population. China, if you think of an example perfectly, had a one-child policy, and now that's sort of backfired on them right now, and now they are also encouraging people to have children. Countries, if you look at a certain region of the world that are having the most children, that would be Africa. Africa is a continent. More countries there per capita, the birth rates are skyrocketed. I believe Nigeria is around 7 or 8. Other countries are at 8 or 9. Once again, these different countries, birth control isn't really practiced there as much. So that might be a reason for higher birth rates. I think as a world right now, it is interesting to see that because we don't need as many children to run, say, a farm or things like that, it is interesting to see really just where that will be headed in the future as far as how many children someone will have. right now in the United States, though, I believe the book mentions it as, is it a problem? Is it an issue, you think, for a country to have more or less children? I really think that as long as we have a steady population staying around, if it takes two people to make a child, if two people are coming in, that's the average. I really don't see it as a problem. Right now, I know people in other countries look at it as the opposite, as there's more people to work now because an older generation is retiring. And I think the U.S. in time when the baby boomer generation tends to retire, I think you'll see that same thing here. But once again, it was just one thing I was very interested in, and we talk about in my department a lot. So I just really wanted to talk about it in our presentation. Thank you.